What's up, good people? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sally Njoroge. I want to say a big welcome to the new subscribers. Welcome to the family. This is a channel where we get to learn, where we get to have fun, where we get to discuss and have meaningful conversation, just to say the least. Thank you for working with me all through 2024. To my returning subscribers, what's up fam? Thank you for working with me through 2024, the time that I was consistent, when I went silent and all. You have been my pillar. You have still subscribed and have not left. So I want to say I love you so much, and I'm grateful to God for all of you. Okay, and if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Over here there is a subscribe button, the red button written subscribe. Click on it. Don't mind the aeroplanes. Click on it. Have you done that? Good job. And next to the subscribe button we have another button with a bell. Click on that bell. Good. Thank you for hitting on the notification bell. You will be notified every single time that I get to upload new content. Now, today we are finalizing on the series we started last time on why people stay in toxic relationship, as we come to the end of the 16 days of activism against femicide. I want to say thank you for every person that has gotten to respond to the video, those who have gotten to learn something, they that have been able to reach out for help. I want to say a big thank you so much, and I believe that the content that I make and also every single thing that I share that gets to help you and help the people around you. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the topic of today. That is part 2 and final part of why people stay in toxic relationships. Okay, now just a brief recap. Last time we covered 4 points. As to why people stay in toxic relationship. That is, point number 1 was emotional dependency. Point number 2 was hope for change. That is, you in that relationship hoping that your abuser is going to change. Some stick because they think and hope and pray so much that our abusers are going to change. Okay. Point number 3 was fear of conflict. And point number 4 was financial or practical dependency. And we say that our abusers make sure that they eliminate any avenue of their victims getting to. An abuser eliminates every avenue in which the victim can make money or generate income or even get financial support from people. They make sure that you are fully dependent on them. Now, let's get into today's video. That is point number 5, and point number 5 is cultural or societal pressures. That is, some people stay in toxic relationships due to the societal or cultural expectations, such as beliefs that marriage should be for a lifetime or divorce is shameful. Also, in some communities, there may be stigma associated with leaving a relationship, especially if it involves children or religious beliefs that emphasize the importance of staying together, and we call that social stigma. This falls under the cultural and societal pressures. We've said some people stay in toxic relationship due to cultural or societal expectations. We get into marriages and relationships to last. Okay? We get into marriages and relationships to last. We don't get in them so that we can live. But circumstances are what forces us to live. For example, you cannot say that you will keep on staying in an abusive relationship hoping for it to last. At the end of the day, you are the one who's at the losing end. Okay? We've seen cases on TV and social media where people have lost their lives because they were told the key word that is commonly told is vumilia. Vumilia in that marriage, vumilia in that relationship. Vumilia to mean just hold on. Your partner will change. Your partner will do this. We have vumiliad in relationships with abusers just because we fear what the society is going to tell us. You would rather be branded, let me tell you something. You would rather be branded a single parent than stay in an abusive relationship where the only time you will leave that relationship is when you're 6 feet under. It's better to be safe than to be sorry. If it is toxic and very abusive, if not even very abusive, if it is toxic and abusive, please leave. You do not deserve to stay in an environment where you're being forced to do things and being hurt, being insulted. Abuse is not only physical, but emotional abuse, financial abuse, mental abuse. If it is not right for your mental health, leave. At the end of the day, remember, for example, if there are kids involved, you are subjecting the kids to trauma, which they will battle at the far end when they are adults. We have adults who are battling childhood traumas to date because they saw their parents go through such. They saw their mother going through abuse, and they thought it is normal. But it is not. My dear, if you're in that relationship because of what the society will say, please leave when you're still alive. Or at times we have these religious beliefs that yes, God hates divorce. But let me ask you this question. Will you die in that relationship? Save yourself and leave. Point number 6. And under point number 6, I was able to classify it, to subdivide it again into 2 other points. Point number 6, normalization of toxic behavior. Normalization of toxic behavior. That is sub point number 1, cycle of abuse. In abusive relationship, there's often a cycle where moments of love or affection follows a period of mistreatment and can confuse the person and lead them to rationalize their behavior. That is to mean some of us have endured a cycle of abuse. Your abuser or the abuser today treats you very well, okay? Takes you out on dates, takes you on vacation, buys you things, makes you feel loved, cooks for you, gets you flowers and all. The next minute, he is verbally abusing you, telling you of how stupid you are, or even threatening. We've had people say they've been threatened in their marriages and relationships. This person threatens you like, wewe leo unajua siku moja nitakuua. That is one day I'll kill you. Then what does this person do to say sorry? Gets you gifts. And because you don't want to lose your marriage or your relationship, you forgive your abuser. You've forgiven the abuser from the previous abuse. Later on down the line, he abuses you. But this time round, it's not verbal, but physical. Physical abuse. And what does he do again? Comes to say sorry with flowers, takes you out on a date, takes you out to get pampered, It's a cycle. It's a cycle. And the second subtopic is past experiences. In past experiences, if someone grew up in toxic or abusive environment, they might not recognize healthy relationship dynamics. It means that some of the victims that we have, or some of the abusers that we have, are people who grew up in a toxic and abusive relationship. Remember, I've said some, not all. Some people grew up in an environment where abuse was the norm, was the order of the day. Every single day there was an abusive moment. And that thing stuck in their mind. So when they get into another relationship, they don't see the healthy aspect of it. So they project whatever they learned from their growing period to their current relationship. because they think it's normal. They think it's normal, you know. And I was actually talking to someone a while back who was telling me that I don't know if it's in their culture or their home, whereby if your husband has not beaten you, you provoke them to beat you, something like that. My friend, that's toxic. That's toxicity, and that is abuse. You do not justify abuse. You do not justify toxicity. If it is toxic and abusive, leave. This person doesn't have to hit you to pass information. This person doesn't have to abuse you to assert authority, his authority. No. Communication. This person can communicate. Okay? Point number 7, guilt or shame. Some individuals feel guilty about leaving because they fear hurting their partner or breaking up their family. We tend to stick in such situations with the fear that I am breaking my family. No, marriage was meant to last, like we've read earlier on. No, I might be hurting my person. We blindly and foolishly fall in love with people and accept their behavior because we fear losing them or even hurting them. But it's not right. There's some of the reasons why people stay in toxic relationships. Or a sense of responsibility. People may feel a strong sense of responsibility to their partner, especially if the partner is emotionally or financially dependent on them. Like I said, your abuser or the abuser will make sure he eradicates any avenue the victim will get financial support. He will make sure he'll make sure that he isolates you. He will make sure that you are fully dependent on them emotionally, physically, financially, so that they can be able to manipulate you. Okay? And also to make you feel guilty when you even think of leaving. These people do this. All right? Point number 8, that's where now we get into manipulation and control. An abuser will use all forms of manipulation, all form of gaslighting to make sure that at times they will manipulate you to feel like it is your mistake they behaved like that. They will make you see that it is your fault, that for them, they hit you because you made them do that. But that they should not justify themselves. If you see someone start doing that, or say that you made me react like this, that's an abuser. You made me hit you, that's an abuser. You made me insult you, that's an abuser. And they would use that to prove their dominance over you, and that they can control everything you do. They will control who you talk to. They will control who you listen to. They will control your source of finances, your source of joy. An abuser will make sure that he isolates you fully. He will isolate you from your family. He will isolate you from your friends. He will isolate you from your support system. That's the work of an abuser. Okay? And we have constantly allowed these people to take charge of our lives. The victims, if you can open up, if these people open up, they will tell you. At times a victim does not realize it because this person has purely tortured this person's mind to the point that she accepts it as a norm. We've gotten to a point that the abusers have completely manipulated people, and they say it's a form of them showing their love. But it's not. That is manipulation and control. Point number 9, unrealistic expectations. People may rationalize or justify the negative aspects of the relationship in order to maintain their mental peace and avoid the discomfort of facing the truth. That is same as point number 3. We have some unrealistic expectations in our relationships. We sit in relationships where people are being beaten, and just because you want to maintain your peace of mind, you just tolerate. That's the word. We tolerate abuse because we don't want to fight back, and we fear. The biggest weapon an abuser will use to you is to instill fear. This person will instill so much fear in you that you will even fear yourself living. You will fear talking. You will fear speaking out because your abuser has taken charge of your mind. Okay? And they will say it is a way of showing love. And people, one thing I came to understand, there's this trend of dominance and submissive. Okay? So many people, quote unquote, so many people try to use that to cover abuse. That no, I was applying my dominance and you are my submissive, like a role play in sex or something. But it's abuse is abuse, no matter how you cover it. Abuse is abuse, no matter how you try to brand it. Abuse is abuse. In case of dominance and submissive, there has to be a consent. Do your research. One has to consent to be a dom, and another has to consent to be a submissive. So this other part is purely abuse. And it is purely toxic. And finally, point number 10, uncertainty about the future. At times, we feel like if we leave this abusive situation, how are we going to survive? How are my children going to eat? How are we going to pay the bills? But my dear, that should not worry you. Your priority is your safety and the safety of your children. Okay? Your priority is your safety and the safety of your children. Like I said, please speak out. Please speak out. Just a rundown on the 10 points that I was able to come. I know there are so many other reasons as to why, but these are the main points that I was able to come up with. Point number 1, emotional dependency. Point number 2, hope for change. Point number 3, fear of conflict. Point number 4, financial or practical dependency. Point number 5, cultural or societal pressures. Point number 6, normalization of toxic behavior. And under point number 6, we have sub point 1, cycle of abuse. Sub point 2, past experiences. Point number 7, guilt or shame. Point number 8, manipulation and control. Point number 9, unrealistic expectations. And finally, point number 10, uncertainty about the future. Now, I want to tell you this. You don't have to stay in that toxic relationship. We have organizations that have established safe houses. Okay, we have organizations that have established safe places. This video is not sponsored. We have the group on Facebook called Usikimye. You can write to them if you're facing abuse, or I will leave my contacts on the description. I will leave my details, and you can be able to reach out to me, and we will find a way out. Okay, but please do not suffer in silence. You have a voice. I know your abuser has told you, has made it so much that you cannot speak. But I'm here today to tell you that you have a voice. You can speak. It is time we said no to femicide. It is time we said no to gender-based violence. If you feel like you're tired with somebody's child, let them go. For you, the abuser. If you cannot handle somebody's child and treat them with love and respect and dignity, let them go. You don't have to abuse somebody's child to the point of death. You don't have to abuse somebody's mother, somebody's sister, somebody's daughter to the point of death. As a society, we have a stand. We have to fight femicide, or really gender-based violence. We have to. We have to stand against the perpetrators. Femicide or gender-based violence is a dangerous and a barbaric act. Me and you can hold hands and say no to violence. For how long will we bury our loved ones due to violence, due to femicide? For how long? It's the high time we speak out. And if you are going through a toxic situation, please don't forget to reach out. In every police station, there is a unit that deals with that. Okay? There's also a unit that deals with children. And I believe that we will be able, if you reach out, they'll be able to help you. If the police are not helping, go to your local chief. Okay? If the local chief, you find that they're delaying, use your family members. At times we think they cannot help, but they can help. We have organizations like Usikimye. Reach out to them. We have FIDA. We have organizations like FIDA. We have organizations like Maendeleo ya Wanawake. Reach out. There are so many organizations. Even hospitals, they do help. Nairobi Women's Hospital and much more. Many other hospitals, please don't suffer in silence. Speak out. And I believe that you are going to get the help you deserve. I will leave my details on the description box. And also, please reach out and let's find a way of helping you. Okay? This is all I have for today. See you next time and see you on the next video. I love you.